catching Briscoe a little bit, but Wally, that whole time you still got to hit that fuel number, so you can't go too fast because you got to stay in the fuel mileage range. Kevin?
Tim Cindric calls the race for Helio Castroneves. They've got another wing out. What's going on?
It looks like we got part of the front wing flapping, but it looks like a brace is missing, but I don't think we'll change it unless we get the opportunity without losing any track position.
You'll still come in, and you're going to have to make it a 3-stop strategy now. Is he coming in soon or going to try to stay out?
It looks like most of the leaders are going to be on 2-stop strategy because of the yellow in the beginning, but looks like there's a stay broke or something along those lines, but right now we'll just keep going.
Okay, Tim Cindric.
All right, and Helio Castroneves continues to run back into 9th position.
You know, I want to get back to Marty. You know, Marty, you and I you were actually telling me a story this morning about how come Scott's so good at fuel mileage.
Yeah, I asked Mike Hull, why did he become so good? And he said, you know, we actually went back to the Champ Car days. We were racing for Toyota, and honestly, we didn't have the horsepower to beat anyone. So the only way we were going to beat anyone was on fuel mileage. They worked weeks and months with Scott Dixon trying to make him hit an exact fuel mileage number. I asked Scott about it. He said, literally, it was months. They were out on the track forever just trying to hit the exact number. He said the biggest part about it is getting into a rhythm. Every lap, every corner, reminding yourself, I have to lift early, get on the gas late. And that's what you have to do to save that fuel and hit the exact number you want.
And it's hard to do when you're a race car driver because a race car driver's DNA is to go out, full out all the time. And it's really, really difficult to tell yourself that you've got to save RPMs, you've got to, you know, get off the throttle a little bit earlier and brake earlier to save that fuel, especially when you're racing other cars and you see guys coming, you know, in your mirror.
And it's a good, as we make transition and see Graham Rahal moving in here. Think about someone like Graham Rahal, Castroneves ahead of them. Castroneves, like Dixon, used to drive in the days when there was unlimited testing. So you could go out and learn how to drive in a fuel mileage race. You have a new driver like Graham Rahal, the new generation that's coming through. As he's worked through the ranks, they've cut back testing because of budgets, and you just don't have that opportunity. So you go into Indycar and you get into the race and they hit the button and say, save fuel, and they don't have the testing opportunities like the veterans do.
If you check out the front of Castroneves' car, you'll see that, what do you call it, because I'm an idiot still?
End fence.
The end fence on that car, the 3 car right there. Take a look at it. You'll see on Helio's car, it'll flap in the wind, and it's on our right. Oh, little lockup there.
And that's Sato going up the inside. He just got by Rahal.
Good job, good job.
That moves Sato into the top 10. Rahal back to 11th. Now you can see that flap on
yeah, if you see the
Castroneves'
3 car when it's on speed, you can want to see it right there. It's vibrating. Just that little bit is downforce on the front of that car.
Okay, that's not the end fence. The end fence are blue. The white pieces, the dividers as they call them on the wings, are mandatory at this racetrack. Here comes Sato up the inside. Great braking with no lockup. When you go to the inside, of course, Wally, it's slippery there.
Yes,
and that was great brake modulation. So easy to lock them up.
Yeah, and the track is getting slippery. You can see these guys are fighting it. The track's losing grip. They've been out there for a long time. So it's a handful with these cars right now.
We've had several races on this track this weekend. Yesterday, the Grand Am Series and the Continental Tire Series, and earlier today, Star Mazda and the Firestone Indy Lights competed.
It's a tight group right there.
That is.
Here comes Sato has a great run.
Oh, there's a little bit of a hog in the racetrack.
Gonna try it on Castroneves. Into the corner.
Oh, a little bit of contact. Oh.
And Sato goes around.
Thought he had it.
Wow.
Keep it running. Yep, he kept it running. Now, hopefully he doesn't have any damage on that right front suspension because that was a pretty hard shot.
Now, Castroneves was giving him room, but he could only go so far out the line. His teammate Viso gets by now.
I mean, he was there. He was committed, and Castroneves knew he was there.
Gave him some room here, but Castroneves can't. That's as wide as Castroneves can go. Sato, unfortunately, is trying to stay with the power. Castroneves was a gentleman, and Sato tried to force the issue, but thankfully kept it running. So he'll be back for more.
This is Simona Di Silvestro's in-car. She was right behind the bump.
And, you know, when you're on the bottom like that, Jan, and you're trying to get it on the gas, and you get a little bit of a push, and he may got a little bit of a push where the car wouldn't turn, and that's why he made contact with Castroneves.
Oh, and Simona.
Yeah, Simona looking a little racy. And Sebastian Saavedra is off course. And He is in the backstretch there, but appears to be able to get the car rolling again. That's good, so no caution. By the way, Tony Kanaan made a pit stop. He has dropped back to 21st position as Saavedra gets the car rolling once again, and there is the leader of the race who continues to pull away. He's now a little more than 5 seconds ahead of Ryan Briscoe. We're talking about Will Power, who has led every lap so far. 29 completed out of 90, so we're almost a third of the way through this event already as Ryan Briscoe now hits pit lane. Ryan Briscoe headed toward you, Marty.
Yeah, here he comes, Bob. And Roger Penske made the call to pit. And then right when Ryan was at the commit line, he said, stay out. But it was too late. Briscoe here on pit road getting Sunoco fuel. And you see the 4 sticker blacks going on for the 6 car.
And Marty, the reason they would do that is they'd be watching the fuel because that was lap 28. You would want 29, 30 to give yourself a chance at a 2-stop race. If you're stopping at 28 with 2 laps of yellow,
that's too early.
Well, he'll need help for sure.
Yeah.
Here's Vitor Meira coming in, driving for the AJ Foyt team again this year. Sponsorship from ABC Supply. 4 Firestone Firehawk tires and Sunoco ethanol going in, and Vitor Meira peels out. Also coming down is the number 19 car, Sebastian Bourdais, yeah.
Easy for you to say, Bob.
Thank you. It's Alex Tagliani in the black and white car with the copper trim. Very pretty race car, and right behind him is Graham Rahal. This would be 8th, 9th, and 10th as we have another car. Oriol Servia hits pit lane in car number 2. He gave up a top 5 position here to make the pit stop, and they made quite an adjustment there on the front of the car.
Made a wing adjustment there.
I think these cars are in the ballpark because remember, you have parade and pace laps, so they've burned additional fuel. So they're rolling in here 29. That makes you have to slow down if you don't get any more caution, but they might be in the ballpark. Briscoe could be in trouble. He was a lap ahead.
Alex Tagliani completes his pit stop, and so does Graham Rahal, but Tag beat him out. As Danica Patrick goes sailing by, locking up the brakes a little bit.
She's been locking that right front up quite a bit going up that hill.
She is another person who has changed her setup. They've gone more towards Marco Andretti. Again, a 4-car team. Hang on, I think Viso's going to try and make a move here. And I can tell you that Viso did get by on the inside of 5.
Justin Wilson makes a pit stop. Driving for Dreyer and Reinbold Racing, and behind him is Marco Andretti.
Bob, both cars with a lot of understeer for Marco Andretti. They're going to put 1 round of wing in, trying to get that car to loosen up just a little bit for him. Also the same case for Justin Wilson, who said at one point, oh, I don't have tires on this car anymore. So much understeer for these guys, sliding all over the place on a very slick racetrack. Lindy?
Mona off with the faster reds, and she has the black tires on now. Also got some Sunoco fuel. No changes for her. You talked about how racy she's been. She's happy. They're telling her great job. In fact, they told her a few laps ago she's running the same times as 4th place.
Wow.
Guys.
Helio Castroneves just came in. They did not change that front wing. I can see a little bit on the right end fence, but they stayed the way it is. They went to black tires, so Castroneves trying to hang in there, and he still had the same strategy as the leaders, Marty.
You saw Will Power pull a tear off of his visor. He said, do you want front wing? That was from John Erickson, who's filling in today for Clive Howell. He said, do you want some front wing? He said, only if you're putting on reds, but they're putting on black tires. So they decided to make the front wing change anyway. Will coming down pit road and said, yes, I do want the front wing to help this car just a little bit.
And the black tires are a little bit looser, correct, than the reds?
Yes.
Here comes Ryan Briscoe, so Power beat Briscoe out of the pits by quite a margin and is going to maintain the lead. That's Sebastian Saavedra again on the left that Ryan went by.